Uh-huh. Then please reply to... Sorry, just hang on a sec. Dennis, are we saying please reply to mass observation?
Yep.
Yes, please reply to mass observation. That's mass as in large and unwieldy, not mathematics. Observation. Same address, yes.
Dennis, what actually is mass observation?
Well, in layman's terms, we're putting policymakers in touch with the views of ordinary people and reporting to the government on the public's reaction to life in wartime.
Ah, sounds a bit brainy.
And we want that to go in Saturday's paper as well. Thanks so much. Goodbye. Do you think we've made it sound too worthy? Suppose nobody writes in.
Well, loonies will always write in, so worry not.
Dear Sirs, in answer to your advertisement asking for accounts of daily life in wartime, allow me to introduce myself. I am married to a master carpenter. I am a busy wife and mother. I am...
Gas mask.
Women's voluntary service. Ordinary women doing our bit for the war. Inspiring, isn't it?
Ah, can I tempt you to join our happy band? Even a morning a week would be a poke in the eye for Hitler.
My husband doesn't really like me to...
We can't pander to husbands. These are perilous times. Pop your address down here, Mrs.
No, thank you very much. I can't, really. Sorry.
We won't win the war with that attitude. Perhaps she'll change her mind when the bombs start falling.
And I'll need some torch batteries, I suppose. I can't believe they'll carry on with this ridiculous blackout, scaring us all to death. I imagine they'll have abandoned that by Christmas.
I'm sorry, madam. Are these yours? Have you got an account?
Do I have an account? No.
Oh, I'll wrap them for you.
I beg your pardon. These batteries are part of my order. I think we're all a little rattled by recent events, but I don't think barging ahead of people and grabbing goods willy-nilly is going to help morale. Do you? Panic buying's bad for Barrow and bad for the war. Just a word to the wise.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Lynch.
Now, luminous paint. How luminous is it?
Hello, Nella. Don't usually see you down here.
No, I wasn't thinking.
Don't usually get the honour of a sister-in-law's visit. You didn't think you still lived here, did you?
No. I was just a bit flustered.
Oh, you must have when you haven't lived here for 2 years.
Well, I'll get back.
Doesn't bode very well for you, does it? The war's only 2 weeks in. Look, we don't all have nerves.
Mom? Beloved boy's back.
Oh, Mom. I told you not to go into town. Come on. Sit down. I'll get you some water.
supporting indigestion eating at that angle. Was that my potato cake you've just had?
I don't know if it was yours. It didn't have a label on it.
Well, there better be some more. Call your mother.
Mum! Potato cake shortage.
Oh, Cliff, that was Daddy's. You should have asked. Don't worry, I'll make some more. Pour Daddy another cup of tea, Cliff. Oh, is that Arthur? Can you pour him one?
The taxman cometh.
I've never heard that one before.
Daddy, inferior younger brother.
Was the train late, Arthur? Oh, cheek's cold. It's beef stew.
Oh, has he got barley in it? I don't want it if he's got barley in it.
Which train will you get back on Sunday, Arthur?
I think of going back early, so you might have to be a bit chop-chop with the old Chinese laundry.
Mum, have you asked Daddy about tomorrow?
Oh, yes. We thought we might have a bit of a gathering, as is his last weekend at home. Get the gang round. Give me your shirts now then, Arthur. Because Daddy will be at his mother's, won't you?
She wants me to sort her out some blackout panels for those front windows.
Oh, well, that's ideal then, isn't it?
Oh, I saw these hilarious old biddies in town wearing huge green uniforms.
WVS?
Because Mum was thinking of maybe joining.
Crikey, I wouldn't, Mum. All the women in Barry paid to avoid in one room.
No, but for the war.
Nobody asked for a war.
No, I know, but...
I might have a bath.
Oh, that should be all right, shouldn't it, Daddy, if Arthur has a bath?
No.
Well, it won't be long, will you, Arthur? Don't use too much hot water, and don't have the taps full on, will you, because of the pipes knocking. And open the window when you've finished, Daddy won't want it still steaming when he goes in.
And you can stop meddling, suggesting this WVS slark. She will not fit in.
I think you want to go on. Dance with him, Harold. Hey, come here, Robbie. Just turn that round.
Evelyn, please stop it. You're not here to work.
Come on, Evelyn, you're not here to work. Yeah, that's my man. And don't tell me I won't get girls. I'm going to be in the RAF. Cliff will be the lonely one stuck up in Chester as a PT instructor.
Well, I know I'd rather go out with Mr. Potato Dropper.
Oh, come on. I'll have a fighter plane. He'll have a whistle.
Oh, God help any plane you're flying, Michael Hockey. You can't aim a thought full of mash to your mouth without an accident.
Is it fixed, Robbie?
Everybody, say cheese.
Oh, yes. Gas masks.
Don't put me in it. I don't want to be in it.
Cheese.
Say gas mask. Gas mask.
Treasure hunt.
Oh, yes.
Arthur, will you go with Harold and Michael Hockey with Robbie?
Why is he always Michael Hockey?
It's because of the dog. The dog's Michael Finnegan.
Begin again.
We're in here. I thought you might have stayed at your mother's longer.
I'm having a bath.
Oh.
Been blacking out that big window.
We're just going to have a little treasure hunt.
And then I'm coming down in my dressing gown.
Well, we won't be long. Michael Hockey and Robbie are off this week as well.
Ah, well. Good luck, all.
Perhaps if we make it quite quiet, the treasure hunt.
Mum?
Why have you come down?
Too much beer. I had to get a drink, amongst other things. Mum, it's 5 o'clock. Oh, you're freezing. What's wrong?
I've whined your plimsolls. I keep waking up and crying. But that's manageable, but... Yesterday, I went to to where we used to live, and the key wouldn't fit, and I was just standing in the street, and I thought, why won't the key fit? And it didn't bother me, because I thought, what if I'm ill again?
Should you not go back to Dr. Brierley? He was pretty good last time, wasn't he?
I don't get the doctor, Cliff, you know. My daddy can get when he thinks things are going to be expensive. Anyway, I'm fine.
You're not fine, though. And I'm leaving in about 4 hours. I worry about what you'll do when I'm not here. Did you have a go at that mass observation thing? The diary?
Oh, yes, I tried. I couldn't think what to write. I'll be fine. You're panicky again in the middle of the night. Like you in that painting competition. Let's put the kettle on.
Straight back, Daddy. The vehicle is ready, sir. I fear the chauffeur will become restive. Thank you, Jeeves. That's it, Daddy. You're clear. Straight back. Straight back.
Please talk to Dr. Brown.
Oh, here's Evelyn.
I slept.
Catch.
Bye, Cliff. Send me a photo when you get your uniform.
Very bright.
Wear it.
I don't like that dentifrice. It froths up. We'll go back to the powder when that's run out. Not in bed. What's to do?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking about Cliff. It'll be funny from his first night.
Have to shape up. Buying his mother a lipstick. They're as soft as each other.
Thinking of myself, really, without him.
Let's hope he makes a better job of it than he did working with me in the yard.
Well, if he'd ever once properly listened to his ideas.
If there's one thing you don't want in a joinery, it's ideas. No, he has a cushy number, has Cliff. And if Arthur gets that transfer to Ireland, we've got both lads parked out of the way nicely. I'll have to have the light off. I can't be lying awake.
Put it off, then.
Yes?
I just need to see Dr. Briley.
It's barely 7:30. He's having his breakfast.
I just need to talk to him. It's Mrs. Lasthellen. He's seen me before. I can pay.
This really is rather the limit, you know. Wait there. Roger!
Look, Nella, I'm not a trick cyclist. I don't know whether I got you through that bad breakdown or if it went of its own accord. The thing is, I shan't be here from next week. I'm joining the Navy, ship's doctor. Do you have chums? People you can talk to?
I don't have any family here. My husband has family in Barrow, but I don't see them. We don't really have a circle of friends. Mr. Last isn't much of a one for parties.
No. I can't see him in a paper hat and squeaker. You see, Nella, I think when people aren't themselves, that's when they become ill. Make friends. Talk to people.
In the paper, they were asking for people to send in diaries, wartime stuff. Cliff thought that might be a good...
I keep a diary. Locked away, I may add. And after a day of being tactful to idiotic patients, it's quite nice to let rip on paper. The present company accepted, of course. I'm sorry to bundle you out, but I'm already in the doghouse over this Navy business. Brace up, Nella. Join the Navy. Actually, join the Women's Voluntary... What's it? Get out or go under.
Roger!
Hang on, Deirdre! You'll get there.
In a what? In a bucket? Do you have a bucket each, or... What did you say? The doctor? Yes. I went round to his house. I can't tell you now. I'll tell you in the letter. He seemed to think the diary was a good idea. I'm trying to have another bash at it. Hang on. Here's Daddy. I'm giving him the phone now.
Hello. Yes, I'm all right, son. How are you? That's good. Very good. There's nothing wrong with her. No, don't bother. Bye.
Did you get cut off?
No, the pips went. I told them not to bother putting any more money in. Right, need to get on.
Will you be long?
Well, I'm not coming home now. I've got a job at the shipyard. I'll have to walk. Take Dot with you.
How's my nephew liking the army?
Oh, they're in a sort of shed by the sound of it, no proper bathroom.
He won't like that with his namby-pamby ways. What was that about going to the doctor's?
Nothing.
You're not worried about walking home in the blackout, are you? With your famous nerves?
Are you on your way home?
Oh, no, we're chock-a-block here. No, don't go your way, unless you've forgotten where you live again. Gas mask. Click the door too. We don't all want to be at the doctor's.
My name is Nella Last, and I'm sad and scared, and I have nobody, and I don't know who I am. I feel like I'm behind a glass wall. My name is Nella Last. I suffer from nerves. I'm very cheery, always in company. I cry all the time. I'm in my kitchen, which is very new, and I've not taken my coat off yet. It's check. I had it made. I rather like it. I had a bad breakdown last year. I can't imagine any of this will be of interest to you. Sorry about the pencil. I hope it's all right to write in pencil. I came through the blackout tonight on my own for the first time, so that was something.
I went round to see why my skirt was taking so long, and she put her head in the gas oven.
How ghastly.
The war, I suppose. The thing is, I'd quite like my material back. It's a little awkward.
Well, Michael just looks like she's put her head in the gas oven. But she's as ugly as sin.
I'm sure they would sit down if they knew where they were meant to be sitting. That's the point. The tables are now in different places.
I was on the bandage
Do be careful, please. Ladies, please, don't let it near the jam. Clear a space, will you? Ladies, give an ear a moment, if you will. Thank you. We are not going to move them now, but after lunch we will institute a table numbering system, as Mrs. Lord's diagram has proved a whited sepulchre.
Bandages, Mrs. Rate.
What?
Bandages.
Yes. If you are a navy knitter on a bandage table, please remove yourself. We cannot have navy knitters on the bandage table. If you are knitting in navy vamoose, we do not want you. Yes?
My friend's only here from Silleth for the day.
From where?
Silleth. She can't knit, but we want to sit together. I'm knitting.
And what are you knitting?
It's for the Navy.
Then you must leave your friend from Silleth.
It's a sea boot stocking. It's white.
Then you may stay with your friend from Silleth. Now, Mrs. Lord is going to come amongst you with limb bandage diagrams. Oh, you must move the table. We can't have trailing wires. We're supposed to be supplying a hospital with bandages, not victims. Knitting? Not knitting.
No, I haven't.
Not knitting. Oh, here's a chair. Come along. This is... Can't have people hanging around like a smell on the landing. Yes, there we are. Stop! No one is to take wool unless I am there to book it out. Please, ladies, less of the smash and grab.
And a proper perm's not cheap.
Well, with that complexion and the flat nose, she looked like a darkie to start with. The perm just put the tin lid on it.
Dear.
Talk about polly-wolly-doo.
Ladies, yet again, may I remind you, we cannot have tea near the bandages. No beverages near the bandages. Oh, you look like a useful little body with a teapot. Come with me to the Casbah. Possibly scullery would be a more accurate term.
I need more middle-aged men.
Ducky. You've got Albert Hall, postman.
I have indeed.
What, there's a postman who lives in the Albert Hall?
Deep breaths, Brew.
Can I give you a nice middle-aged woman?
May you give me a nice middle-aged woman?
Nella Last.
Nella Last. Yep.
Housewife. Jill, barrow and furnace.
9 Ilkley Road.
It's on the side, Jill. Lancashire.
Like in a furnace.
What does she do?
Nothing. I told you she's a housewife.
Where are you, Lancashire?
49.
Okie doke. Nella last, Barrow in Furness, housewife 49. Just do with a middle-aged man in Shropshire.
I went into the WVS centre today. There's more curiosity than anything, but the lady who seems to run it, Mrs. Waite's very tall, quite imposing. She sort of swept me up. I ended up making about 60 cups of tea.
Did well out of you then, didn't they?
I liked her, though. She knew what she wanted.
I bet she did. Some muggings to make tea for the high-ups.
I didn't mind.
Well, I bet none of the top drawer lot were pouring tea, were they?
Well, just happened to spot me.
Saw someone who was fool enough to take on the dirty jobs. Well, you've been and there's no need to go again.
Everyone seemed very nice.
Look, I work in these people's houses. They're not like you, these ladies. They're all fur coat and Austin 7s. If you think you'll fit in, you won't. If you want to make tea, make mine.
I've just had a bit of an argument with my husband. Well, it would have been an argument if I'd said anything back. He was a bit scathing about me going back to the WVS. I think he's worried I won't be there to put his dinner on the table. I'm glad I went, though. I was shaking, I admit. I don't know how I managed to pour the tea. Oh, heck, I won't get any less scared by staying at home. I'm going to go back.
Mrs. Way wants these in a vase before the raffle.
I was just saying to Mrs... Sorry, I don't know your name. Mrs. Last. Mrs. Hyam, Mrs. McGregor, that when Chamberlain was so feeble with Hitler, that's when the Duke of Windsor should have stepped in.
Yes, because he was so lovely, wasn't he, with the unemployed? Ooh, Spider's graveyard.
Shall I give it a rinse?
Golly, you're noble.
I think if the Duke of Windsor had gone with Queen Mary to Hitler...
What, and just said, this has gone far enough?
Little Mrs. Last. Oh, that does look beyond the call of duty. But please carry on in your usual splendid manner. Apropos of which, Mrs. Lord wishes to form a raffle and refreshment committee, and I've an idea you might be somewhat of an asset.
Oh, I hadn't really thought of...
I cannot promise, of course, that you would be elected, but I like to think that a protégé of mine could be co-opted, as it were, on the nod. Don't give them the milk jug, Mrs. Hyam, it's not the Cardoma.
I'm so proud of Cliff. I wasn't sure how he would go on in the army because he hasn't always found it easy to fit in. I understand his moods, but not everybody does.
I'm putting the cocoa on.
I write any old nonsense every day just to jolly him up, but his letters to me, they're so loving and give me such strength. I feel I could do anything.
Moving on, through the chair, I would like to propose little Mrs. Last as a member of the Raffle and Refreshment Committee. Seconded?
Sorry. Before that goes ahead, the point for me, and I think I speak for everyone here, pretty much, is that I'm not entirely comfortable with the committee being any bigger, really, than we were told it would be.
It was planned as quite a small...
This is nothing against Mrs. Last. I don't know Mrs. Last. She's not on my table, but we all socialise. Do you see? That gives us a head start as a committee. We're all on the telephone, for instance.
We don't know that Mrs. Last doesn't have a telephone.
We don't have one in the house. My husband has one in his workshop.
Well, heaven forfend there should be any difficulty. I really am very happy to bow out.
Mrs. Last, perhaps I could have a little word.
It's just Mrs. Whittaker from next door. How are you, Mr. Last? All hands to the pump, I bet, isn't it? With your woodworking? Whatever all hands to the pump might mean. Is Mrs. Last in?
She's busy.
I thought she was looking a bit upset earlier on. I thought she might like some company. Pop next door.
She doesn't like going far in the blackout.
Are you having a cup of tea about now?
No.
Shall I pop through? Well, she is all right, is she? Because we're all a bit funny with these so-called hostilities.
Yes?
Well, that's good then. Tell her I pop round. Good night.
I don't feel up to going out at the moment, but I managed to keep busy in the house. Luckily, Arthur's not like Cliff. He takes my cheeriness at face value.
Mother, what on earth is that bundle of scribble in the drawer tied up with wool?
It's my mass observation thing. Let's get a big envelope. You didn't read it, Arthur, did you?
Well, it's not personal, is it? It's only the wartime equivalent of what I did on my holidays. No, I didn't read it. I read it not. What did you find to write about, by the way, as your sojourn at WVS seems to be over?
Well, I write about the war, but sometimes I write about my feelings.
Ooh, a drawer full of mother's feelings, and all in pencil. Pity the poor boffins have to make sense of that. Oh, I got my transfer, by the way. Portadown.
Where?
Ireland.
Oh. Oh.
Do you want to swap families?
Pardon?
I've had enough of mine. Norman's in a mood because we can't have bonfire night. I've got June on the sofa with that water bottle moaning. Anne's got wet suspender belts all over the kitchen. Oh, and my lady Madeline, coming up for winter, has decided that she's too old to wear a vest.
Mum, are you the Oakley Road Broadcasting Company?
Get in! Letting the heat out.
Does that mean you won't come home for Christmas, Arthur?
Pardon me. A bit of acid came up. They were perhaps cheap raisins.
Well, not one of your best, but very good.
You've given up WVS? I think you're wise. No offence, but I couldn't see you fitting in.
No, she's not a mixer. I'm not a mixer.
Whereas myself, I'm on the telephone all day. I can talk to all sorts. Right, let's have another go. Mother and father, have I none?
Shed.
Where have these shoulders come from?
Clean, manly living.
Oh.
I've missed you, Mum.
Cliff, I'll tell you now, in case she pops round. Evelyn met somebody and they just got engaged.
Blimey.
Sorry.
Quick work.
Sorry, I thought I should just tell you and get it over with.
Oh, I'm so tired. No, I'm happy for her. Is there any more pudding?
I just write it all the time on little bits of paper. I scribble away and I send it off.
What does Daddy say when you sat there scribbling?
Nothing. Never mentions it. Oh, no.
What?
It's Mrs. Waite from WVS. Remember I told you about that awful business with the committee? Look away, don't catch your eye.
Oh, it's little Mrs. Last. Oh, how are you, my dear?
Happy Christmas.
Oh, it's nothing to beat the air on Walney, is there, on a clear day? Ellen, stand up, hunching over. Why the young can't stick their chests out, I don't know. Now, Mrs. Last, where have you been? Have you been ill?
Oh, this is my son Cliff. He's on leave from the army. This is Mrs. Waite, Cliff.
How do you do?
Have you pointed a weapon in anger?
No, I'm a PT instructor.
Splendid. This is my grandson, Alan. He was just in Hamlet at school, weren't you, Alan?
Oh, who'd you play, Alan? Gertrude.
I thought he was very convincing. Gran. You were much better than that huge Ophelia. Now, Mrs. Last, you've not been keeping away because of that silly nonsense with Mrs. Lord and her raffle and refreshment committee.
Well, I found it awkward.
Well, that committee was very short-lived. The refreshments were a shambles, and the raffle items frankly pitiful. So please, don't let that silly episode keep you away. But we must scoot. We're going to see Mother Goose at Cartmel. Alan, use your hanky. And please try and keep up. Heel and toe, heel and toe. Bye.
She seems a sport.
I've missed her, I must say.
Go back then, you daft woman.
Thank you so much. You're all right on the left. We've got Mrs. Moonford is over there, which is Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Riddle.
I can take the bombs and the gas always being off. What I can't take is this bloody bum-holing farce of a paraffin stove.
Oh, good for you.
What?
My nice barrow lady. She's gone back to the WVS and is going to dig up her husband's precious lawn for hens. Oh, I got my call up.
No. What? Am I supposed to do this all on my own?
Oh, we'll find you some nice gent.
Not that old queer Godfrey, please.
Hen! Naughty dog, stop! Out of Daddy's onions, naughty boy.
What's all this then?
Do you remember we said we might have hens? So I was just working out the measurements.
Well, you said we might. I said nothing at all about it.
I think I might just try and catch that 10 past.
Where's that string come from? Have you been in my cabinet?
2 bombs have dropped on the yard.
What?
2 time bombs. The plane's just slipped through, Norman says, in broad daylight. I said to you when they bombed Liverpool, didn't I? Barrow's a blooming big shipyard. It's a heck of a target.
I feel there's a bit of a breeze blowing through my marriage. I've always been a bit feeble and given way to my husband, but I seem to be finding a bit of courage from somewhere. I stood up to him over the hens, for instance. I'm quite tickled when I think about that.
Yoo-hoo, it's only me.
Come in, Mrs. Whittaker. Go through to the dining room, won't be a tick.
Oh, you and your pastry.
Who invited her?
I did. She's on her own tonight. She's lonely and she's scared of raids.
Well, don't give her my fruit cake.
Ooh, lovely, a nice fire. You don't mind if I warm my knees? I don't know if they're using the good rubber for Spitfires or what, but there's some shoddy girdles in the shops now.
Swiss roll or with 1 bit of fruitcake?
Well, if nobody else is having it, I'll have the fruitcake. Nice photo. Who took that?
Cliff's friend Robbie Kilgour. That's him. He's in the desert somewhere. I put him there. That's the whole gang then.
They look a happy bunch, don't they? Oh, no, not again. I think you're right. They've flown over. Now, Mr. Last, do you have Miss Bang the scientist's daughter? Because I have a feeling you have.
We've got off lightly compared to the London Blitz, but we've just had 5 continuous nights of bombing, so not much sleep. I'm pretty bright, but poor Mrs. Waite seems to feel it. Not that we dare say anything.
Well, you won't have to do this tomorrow.
No, I'll be on a lovely farm with no bombs, trying not to throttle my mother.
Well, the little boys will love it.
The better.
Oh, what on earth is that?
It's my handbag. I keep meaning to get a smaller one. It's all the stuff for Mrs. Lord's clothing exchange. Is she coming in to sort it out, do you know?
Mrs. Lord doesn't like the bombing, apparently. The rest of us, of course, are delighted to be kept awake night after night by enemy action. No, Mrs. Lord has gone to Lytham, I believe, leaving her much-vaunted clothing exchange scheme unlaunched and unattended.
Well, we can make a start. Don't worry. Will you be in your office? Shall I bring you a cup of tea?
Oh, thank you. That would be much appreciated.
5 nights in the hidey hole seem to have concentrated my husband's mind, and we are finally getting an indoor shelter.
Are you having a Morrison shelter?
Are you getting one?
No. Dad's too fat to fit in one. We got your paper.
Don't chuck it, thank you. Evelyn's having a baby.
What, now?
No. At the end of September, you'd have David.
Madeline, it's 25 to.
Oh, keep your wig on.
Robbie's died. Hi, Robbie. Robbie Kilgour. Died of wounds. I didn't even know he'd been wounded. Wasn't he talking about him the other day? To Brooke. Robert John Kilgour died of wounds, aged 21.
You all right? The papers are in the suitcase. The insurance and whatnot. I think it's safe enough under the stairs, wouldn't you?
That wasn't our wedding photo.
No, that's under the stairs. I wrapped it in Cliff's dinner suit. I don't think that jacket would fit him now. Trousers might, they should do.
It was a funny old day.
What, our wedding?
You were as white as a sheet.
I was terrified. I couldn't think why he'd asked me to marry you. We'd hardly been on our own together.
Funny little thing. Pretty, big eyes. You didn't say much.
Didn't know much. I remember thinking whatever you were like, you couldn't be as bad as my father. My hand's shaking. I thought we'd had it then. Good old Herbert Morrison. Something's gone in the kitchen by the sound of it. Or in the hall. It's my plates, isn't it, in the hall? I said I'd take them down, I didn't. I'm a fool.
You're not a fool.
I thought we'd had it then. I was thinking I'd never open those tin pears.
You're everything to me.
What do you mean?
I didn't want to die and not tell you. You're everything to me.
Have you checked your airing cupboard? No. Black dust in there as well. My sheets, my towels, tablecloths.
Every time I blow my nose, it's black.
When we want to hear about your nose, we'll tell you.
I heard Ilkley Road had got it. We're all right. You all right? Walcott Lane had it bad. We just had bits and bats. We were fine. Oh, your plates. Did the door blow off? Did it come off?
Yeah, don't go in, Evelyn. It's full of glass. We're in Hawcote Lane. Do you know that's where my Mrs. Waite is, Hawcote Lane?
wait. Are you all right?
Mrs. Last! I'd say take a seat, but Herr Hitler seems to have taken most of them. Do my eyes deceive me? Or is that a siren suit?
I heard Hawkett Lane had got it, so I ran up to see if you were all right.
Took a rather bad hit at the back. We were in the front in the cellar, fortunately. And you?
I'm fine. We were in the Morrison. Our kitchen door blew off, but you're all right.
Yes, and very thoughtful of you to make the expedition.
And what will you do about the centre?
Well, we may have to stay shut, pro tem. I certainly can't go in at the moment. Mabel, no point, dear.
So will Mrs. Lord take charge?
She may be in Lytham, I don't know. I think while things are so hugger-mugger, we'll just have to stay closed.
Well, that can't be right. This is the very time people are going to need us. I think we will have to try and open.
But how will we let people know?
I could put a little thing in the paper.
Well, who could open? I'm needed here.
I could open.
Could you do that? Would you be Mark Antony to my Caesar?
It'll be Laurel to your Hardy if it gets the job done.
One day I may get used to your jokes.
Some days I just want to weep with the horror of it all, but that won't do. We have to paste on a smile and do our jobs. My husband's marvellous, works all hours. Doesn't smile much.
This is the 10 o'clock tea, and this is Nella Lass bringing it. Miss Finch, tea's up.
Mrs. Last, I hear it was you who put the notice in last night's mail. I couldn't believe it. I would never have seen it at all. But my husband was flicking through for the crossword. I don't do crosswords. Don't have that kind of mind. On whose authority have you done this, might I ask?
Mrs. Waits.
I don't think so. Her telephone line is down. Hallcourt Lane had a lot of damage. So unless you walked over the rubble from your own house, I'd love to know how you managed to obtain permission and open the centre.
Well, that's what I did. I walked over to see her.
No. Next time you put a WVS notice in the mail, perhaps you'll put it in a place where more people will see it. I don't suppose anybody's bothered to get out the war savings ledger.
It's out.
Good. Glad someone's on the qui-vive. Please do have your tea, everybody, and thank you for your efforts to get here. Well, you've buttered Mrs. Waite up very nicely with your whistling, your cheeky ways. But be warned, she can blow very hot and cold.
Sorry, Mrs. Lord. That's my son. Back in a tick. Cliff!
How's Prue liking the wafts?
She absolutely loathes it. She says the girls all stink of soie de Paris and have venereal disease, which she's expected to sort out.
Gosh. Perhaps I won't join after all.
How's the Crackers Barrow woman?
Well, I haven't got to the end of this one. I'm not keen on George Formby.
Maybe she's not so crackers.
How he gets all those girls when he's so gormless.
Yes, Mum, it's what we call a film.
And why does he have to play the ukulele? Oh, look, there's Evelyn's brother.
Oh, good. Someone to have a drink with.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom!
We went in there just to keep cool. George Formby annoys me.
I was just on my way up to Oakley Road. Got some bad news. It's our Evelyn. You know those houses that were hit next to the Trevelyan Hotel? She has a friend she was visiting. She was in that house. She's gone, Mrs. Last.
Well, I think they were very glad you managed to stay for the funeral. I know Arthur was upset he couldn't get over from Portadown.
She was the first girl I ever kissed. We would have been about 17 then.
She was so thrilled about the baby.
It's a joke, isn't it? I'm in the army and she's the one who gets killed. Thank God they don't still give out white feathers.
You're not a coward?
I'm not fighting though, am I? Just getting blokes fit enough to kill other blokes.
this war is taking a toll on all of us. Even my Mrs. Waite is becoming a bit unpredictable. Hopefully this Mrs. Thompson, who's come down from head office to set up the new canteen, will be easier to deal with.
Oh, little Mrs. Last, here on a Wednesday.
I'm just bringing some plates for the canteen.
Oh, drop them off and run would be my advice. That Mrs. Thompson will have you mashing potatoes before you say Dick's hat band.
No, actually, she came to find me the other day.
I know. Poaching. Prowling around like the troops of Midian. Where's your nice Mrs. Last, she said. I said, she's where she belongs, with me.
No, I like cooking. I told her I could manage 2 days a week.
Oh. And when was I to be told?
Well, I didn't think I had to tell you. I'm still going to do my 2 days at Hospital Supply.
Very handsome of you. That leaves 1 day a week spare, should the War Cabinet need a hand.
I'll just go and take these.
We're not open. You battery boys are getting a little bit cheeky.
You're a funny shift, Mrs. Last. Any chance of some potato cakes to take with?
All right, don't tell the heavy rescue mob. Mrs. Hyam, have you got a paper bag?
Secret supply.
You are a sweetheart.
Get off, you silly boy. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Waite, didn't see that.
Patently. Please carry on with your kitchen capers. It is of no consequence.
Mrs. Waite, what was it? Do you need me to do something?
Your uniform has arrived, that's all. You're obviously far too busy to collect it now.
Well, I have to finish my shift.
Oh, I'm sure. Why leave while squaddies are hanging on your every word?
I'll come and get it as soon as I can.
Well, when you do collect it, please remember that it is the uniform of a noble and distinguished organisation.
I'm back!
Cliff has invited some lad he met at Chester for Christmas. He's quite well off, apparently. He's in the Fleet Air Arm. I think Cliff's worried we'll let the side down.
Ooh, hasn't that hood come out well? What tile are you tied in your wardrobe?
Mum, this room's like a midden.
Oh, is that your uniform?
Yes. Have you ever seen a midden, I'd love to know? Which tie do you mean? Why do you want to tie anyway?
Is it definitely coming, this chap? Chap? His name's James. Nobody says chap. He's phoning the workshop before he gets the train.
Do you like my hood, Cliff?
Hey, yes, it's great.
Oh, thanks a lot. You didn't even look at it.
That's enough cheek from you. He's fighting for king and country. He's not interested in silly girls' hoods.
Oh, pardon me, with knobs on.
Do you want to go to the Messiah? No, I like that, Mrs. Last. It's smart, but not too smart. Come on, Miss Pixie Hood.
Bye.
Hi, Mrs. Whittaker.
Bye.
So, Mum, I beg of you, this year on 12th night, please put them away properly.
We're in here. Oh, hello, Dot.
Those lights have done well, haven't they, for cheap ones?
Daddy, has anybody phoned for me?
You know a James?
Yes, great. What did he say? What train is he on? God, I look like I'm from bloody Borneo.
Nice army language.
You do know him then? Fleet Air Arm lad?
Yes, what's he said?
Nothing. He turned up.
At the workshop? Did he? Good man. Where is he?
On the path.
What? Daddy?
Why didn't you bring him in?
Well, I didn't know who he was. I was in two minds about having him in the car.
Oh, I kept my eye on him. Because people get bludgeoned, don't they? In cars.
James, this is my mum.
You're very welcome, James.
Thank you.
Come to the fire.
I was just saying, you could have been one of these con men. Could have been a stick-em-up job. Bang. Good night, Vienna.
And that's from me and Daddy, Arthur.
Thank you, Esmeralda. The bird! The bird!
If you don't like that scarf, Dot, we can always change it.
Oh, no, I like it. It's, I only said it was a bit itchy and perhaps made me look sallow. And that's yours.
And this is for you, James. It's only a writing pad and some stamps, but I didn't want it to be left out.
That's really kind of you, Mrs. Last. Well, by the same token, a bit frivolous. You've probably got bucket loads already.
A tie pin. Thank you, Mother. I shall pin my tie. My tie shall be pinned forthwith.
That's from Mum, Daddy. Feels woolly.
Oh, got a tin of pilchards then.
Lily of the Valley. I love Lily of the Valley. You seen what brand it is, Daddy?
What's that?
Yardley. It's lovely. Smell.
Oh, I can't tell Lily of the Valley from Lily of Laguna.
Lily Marlene.
What did you get from Auntie Dot, Mum?
5 shillings. Thanks, Doc.
No, I don't know what she wants.
Oh, I will be posh.
Keep it for Bess, won't you?
Hey, that's swish, Daddy. You must have done something right this year.
Well, now I'm so busy with WVS, Daddy's going to take packed lunch to work, save me rushing back.
My father taking a packed lunch? Jeeves, has the earth tilted on its axis?
My flabber is well and truly gasted, sir.
Very comical.
James has fitted in so well this Christmas. It's been lovely. Cliff's had some queer pals in the past, but there's something very right about this friendship.
After you, Claude.
No, after you, Cecil.
No, after you, Claude.
No, after you, Cecil.
No, after
get
you,
a
Claude.
move on. You know I can't stand that silly programme.
Cliff said there was some accident at your landing place.
There was a bit of a collision. 2 planes. I was all right, but half my crew weren't.
It must take a lot of courage, what you do.
I don't know about that. Anybody who says he's not scared is a liar. From the minute we know we're flying, we're scared all the time.
It's pretty dangerous being a PT instructor, you know. I was nearly hit by a medicine ball once.
Well, it's a lovely sunny day. Happy Boxing Day, all. And thank you for your hospitality, Mrs. Last.
What's up?
Daddy, pork pie. You're up late.
Been talking to James. Telling him what a pig's ear I made out of working with Dad. And you said it was a bad idea, and I went ahead anyway.
Hardly matters now.
Yes, but I want to be able to look myself in the face after the war. I don't want the war to be just another thing that I mess up.
What are you saying then?
Like James says, he's scared, but he does it. I want to know that I could do it too. So, I want to volunteer to go abroad. Sorry.
You're a man, Cliff. You must do what's right for you.
I want it to be all right with you. You're my mum.
It is all right with me. Oh, I'm losing my fizz. Don't forget to switch the light off.
What do you mean I should have put a stop to it? What should I have done? Written to them? Please excuse Clifford from the machine gun corps. He hasn't got his machine gun.
He thinks nothing of me, but you could stop him.
He's 23. He's made his mind up. He wants to go.
I want him to be safe.
There is no safe. Michael Hockey's just been blown out of the sky. Evelyn crushed to death. My heart goes cold when I think what might happen, but it's nothing to do with what you or I feel. It's what he wants.
He's my boy.
Is he? What have you done to make him your boy? Either of them? Read to them, played with them, spanked them? No, that was all me. When Clifford was in the Cubs, you didn't even do his woodwork badge with him. I've Master Carpenter right to ask the man next door.
Do you want him killed?
No, of course I don't want him killed. But if something happens, I want him to have had a life. A proper life, not some stifled, fearful existence. I don't want him smothering every spark of feeling just to suit other people.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I do. I don't want it to happen to him.
Are you coming to bed?
No. I think I'll sleep in the Morrison.
So, if that's everything.
And, sorry, Mrs. Way, through the chair, just the condolence cards. I have Mrs. Cross, her son was killed in the Western Desert. Mrs. Bacon, another Western Desert. And Mrs. Hockey, her son was killed in a bombing raid, I believe.
Reconnaissance.
And Mrs. Grantham has lost a nephew. But I don't really think we can do condolence cards for nephews.
So that's 3 cards to buy. Any other business?
Yes, the proposed Red Cross shop for prisoners of war. I'm pleased to report that Mrs. Last has, at last, found suitable premises. And Mrs. Last is, I believe, on the scrounge for stock.
And will the shop be called Last Limited? Or should I say Unlimited, as there seems to be no limit to Mrs. Last's rise to glory?
Well,
I would like to propose that this little Red Cross shop is not left to flop about by itself, but that we tether it, as 'twere, to hospital supply, which I may remind newcomers has been run successfully for 30 years, and that all decisions are referred back to me.
I think this is the first time I've ever worked in a team, and I absolutely love it. They call me the boss, which is silly, and Mrs. Waite would be horrified. Cliff sent copious notes about how to dress the window, and he says I have to get my photo taken with the Lady Mayoress when I give her the bouquet.
Should I put the Lilo in the window?
What's safe, isn't she? It was on the wireless last night, Gracie Fields.
I can't be doing, I'm afraid, with Gracie Fields.
Buongiorno, all. Now look, it's a fur jacket. Chinchilla, not desperately stylish. It is a little old chapeau. Anyway, chuck, don't chuck. TTFN.
Short and sweet. Is this Mrs. Waite's offering?
Yeah.
Lordy. They don't strike quite the right tone, do they?
Well, in the corset cupboard.
Ooh. Aha! Here's my neighbour. This could be the long-promised vases.
This came. It says 7 Ilkley Road, but it's addressed to you. I thought I should bring it.
Cliff's missing. His ship was hit. We are unable as yet to confirm that he is amongst the survivors.
What do you think about the Lilo?
L-A-S-T. He's not on the list of the dead. I've already spoken to them and they told me to telephone you. He's not on the list of the dead. Yes, they said the full list of survivors wouldn't be compiled until all the ships have docked back in. But last. I have done. Yes, and they gave me your telephone number. No, I understand that. I understand. Thank you.
No joy.
She said more or less the same thing as the Admiralty.
It's all girls on these phones anyway. There'll be all manner of mistakes made. They'll all be filing the nails and reading the paper.
Anything?
They said it's still a muddle. They say he may not actually be missing. It may just be that they haven't got all the names sorted.
Well, we've known enough lads who have gone missing, and we know what happened to them.
Well, until we know more, I think we should hope for the best. And I think we should get on with our jobs. I need those measurements, Will, for the requisition forms.
He is not missing. He is not missing. I would know if he was dead. We have a bond. He can't be dead. I can't lose Cliff. I can't manage without Cliff. I need him. I need him.
Well, Gordon Selfridge will have to look to his laurels, Mrs. Last. Marvellous. Now, order of business. 1:30, Mrs. Lord to collect bouquet from florist and bring to shop. That's me, and I've done that.
I hear the bouquet has already been collected.
Yes, and Mrs. Last is going to present it. We've decided. I'll carry on. 2:20, Lady Mayoress to set off from Town Hall. 2:25, Lady Mayoress to arrive at Red Cross shop. And 2:30, Mrs. Last to present Lady Mayoress with bouquet.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Lord, I don't think I can stay. I'm sorry.
I think we require a little bit more than sorry.
I need to go home. I need to be at home. You know my son's missing.
Yes, and it's most distressing. But surely it's one's duty to carry on. Mrs. Hockey and Mrs. Bacon have both lost sons, yet both have shown great pluck and fortitude. I, as you know, have a grandson, Alan, who is a prisoner of war. But I put aside that burden daily in order to do service for others. What surprises me, Mrs. Last, is that you seem to feel no need to act in a similar fashion.
Well, I'm sorry if I've surprised you. I have to go home. I need to be at home. Can't think. You could give her the flowers, couldn't you?
Don't bother. I'd rather you wrote rubbish than talked it.
What do you mean?
Well, he didn't get this artillery idea out of his own head, did he? He was safe. He was safe as houses in Chester till you got round him, wanting him to live his life. Much good that does him under the bloody ocean.
No, he's under the ocean.
Damn writing. What is there left to write? Hmm? Son's missing. You're still scribbling away. Why do you do it? Eh? Who wants to read what you've got to say?
I don't know who wants to read it, but I tell you why I have to do it. It's because I have nobody. I have nobody to talk to. I don't have a sympathetic, loving, interested friend. I don't have that person. I only have you.
Oh, dear. Shall I retreat?
No. I was just thinking how hard it is to be married. Lord knows what it'll be like when my chap comes back. If he comes back.
I managed to get the donuts.
They've given it quite a write-up, the shop opening. And a big photo. The Lady Mayoress has a drain pipe coming out of her head. But...
Hello? Hello? Telegram.
Oh, Lord help us.
He's safe. He's on a hospital ship. It docks tomorrow in Liverpool. Suffering from slight exposure.
I said he wasn't dead till they said he was dead.
Docks tomorrow. Slight exposure.
That's nothing, slight exposure.
How are you, darling?
Watch out, I haven't shaved.
You like to smoke?
Nope.
How are you feeling?
Oh, in the pink. Fit to be torpedoed.
Arthur sends love. Is there anyone you'd like me to phone or drop a line to? Any of the Chester lot or James? I've got airmail paper.
Good luck writing to James.
Oh, is he not still in Jib?
I've no idea. He's dead.
When? What happened? When, Cliff? Was this in Gibraltar?
A month or so ago. What happened? He got blown to bits.
His poor mother. Why didn't you write and say? Such good manners, didn't he, Daddy? Have you got your penknife? Could have a bit of fruitcake, couldn't we?
No thanks.
Be very discreet and start a riot.
I don't want any. I have to have my tea soon anyway.
No, well, we won't stay long. Don't want to make you late for that.
Oh, I think I need to stretch my legs. Is there a gent's son?
Back that way.
Well, look after yourself then.
Will do.
I'll see you at the car, Dad. So sorry about James, but it happens. We can't get too upset. We have to plug on. And you've not known him that long, luckily. It's not really as sad as losing Robbie or Michael Hockey or Evelyn.
Oh, no, it's not as sad as losing someone from Barrow.
I just meant...
I don't care what you meant, really. I don't care what you have to say. You're so far from understanding me, it's laughable. You can't mother me. That's all finished. You can't turn up with a bloody cake and make it all lovely.
I wasn't. I just wanted to see you.
Well, I didn't want to see you. I know I loom quite large in your life, but actually, Mum, you don't loom very large in mine. Sorry.
He forgot his cake. You don't have to slam the door over it. Oh. 3 years and not a scratch. Nothing.
Only a dent.
Do you know how long it takes to get a dent out properly?
Well, it can't be that difficult.
Or will you be hammering it out or paying for it? Why didn't you see me out? I told you it was a tight reverse.
Yes, and I told you I wanted to get home. Every day we have this palaver. See me out. You act like a child.
I don't take the huff just because someone's not eaten some cake.
It was nothing to do with the cake. He didn't want us there. Did you realise that? He didn't want to talk to me. Have you any idea how painful that is?
Well, I can see the results.
Cliff's just really upset me, and you're just thinking about the car. You're minding more about the car. You weren't this upset when he went missing.
Did you find your best cardigan?
Oh, yes. Any post? Nothing from Cliff.
You don't read it when there is, so why ask?
Turn the record over. He got caught in my chain. He just wants a bit of mending.
You can't mend this. It's ruined.
We're not going to have an argy-bargy about it, are we?
No. I'm getting a bit of that glass wall feeling again. Without the fun and bustle of the shop and only the odd card from Cliff, it all feels a bit dim. There is, of course, my sister-in-law's rather peculiar whirlwind engagement.
Well, you're too broad. I've more of a nipped-in outline than you. Still can't believe it. Went to the Isle of Man. Got a man.
Good job you didn't go to the Isle of Dogs. Mrs. Last! We haven't exchanged 2 words for ages. I keep looking on the Red Cross rota, but I never see N last in that famous scribble.
No, I thought perhaps I didn't have the right character for the shop. Perhaps not enough pluck and fortitude.
Now you're quoting my words back at me. Have I offended you?
Yes, because you've said things to me and they weren't fair and they weren't kind, and that's why I sit on the back table at Hospital Supply where you won't see me, and that's why I don't come in the shop.
Well, now, this is a little difficult for me to say. I liked you immensely from the beginning. I was very touched when you came crawling through the rubble to see me, wearing that ridiculous garment. I felt we were very much a team. And when you went to Mrs. Thompson to the canteen, I suppose I was jealous. I wanted you to just do things with me, under my wing, so to speak. Petty of me. I apologize.
Thank you. How is the shop?
It's not quite the happy ship one would have wished. I feel it's missing a certain little Jack Tar. Could I twist your arm?
Thank you. Stick it under your jumper. Make a run for it.
Shall I turn the sign over?
Please. See you on Thursday.
Adios, amigos. Ah, it's torrential.
Bye, Lynchy.
I'm sure this is the Germans. This is ludicrous weather for May. Oh, he's a splendid fellow. What should we call him?
Sambo. There's a spam each and a hard-boiled egg.
I'm very peckish, little Nell, I must say. Mrs. Hockey, it's not your day.
No, I was having a clear out. I've brought Michael's cricket things.
Are you sure you don't want to hang on to them?
I've hung on to them for 2 years. I'm sure he'd rather they were useful.
Yes, and every 10 shillings is a parcel for our POWs.
Have my tea, Mrs. Hockey. I'll get myself another cup.
Oh, it is jolly chilly. How is your grandson, Mrs. Wade?
He's been moved to a different camp. I expect we'll get a letter eventually.
Alan, isn't it?
That's right. It's very hard not knowing how he is, whether he's being fed and treated properly.
And how is Cliff? People never seem to tell me about their sons anymore, but I do like to hear.
Oh, he's fine. He keeps getting promoted, so he's on leave at the moment, and then I think he goes back to Italy.
Oh, might he pop in the shop?
No, he's not actually staying with us.
Oh, that's a shame. I remember that time he hitchhiked and surprised you.
Some things. It's hard to explain. We had a bit of a falling out. I've written, but he never answers what I ask him. I must have upset him, but I truly don't know what I did. That was more than a year ago.
I'd no idea. You were so bright always.
Couldn't you go and see him and try and sort things out?
I don't think that's a very good idea.
Well, you may not get another chance. I didn't.
Godfrey, when you first met me, did I have more of a bust than this?
I'm not really a bust expert.
What news from Barrow?
The son who's not a tax inspector is on leave in Chester for some reason.
Am I Aberdonian queer?
He's in the usual sordid pickle.
Cliff, stop a minute. I want to make things right between us. Can we not still be pals?
Oh, for God's sake.
Because if I've done something wrong, I need to know.
I'm in a war.
No, I know that. I've lost the same people you have. Evelyn, Robbie, Michael Hockey.
Christ's sake. Michael Hockey was just a boy who was on my bus. I don't care about those people anymore. It's not like the newsreels, Mum. It's horrible. I see horrible things all the time. You work in a shop with some nice ladies. We're not really having the same war.
At least you're alive. You have a future. Those people you suddenly don't care about, they don't have a future.
I don't have the future I wanted to have. With the person I wanted to have it with.
Evelyn?
James.
Oh, well, yes. I know that was upsetting.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That you were upset about James?
Come on. The train will be here in a minute.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Dr. Briley.
Hmm?
This is last.
Good Lord above. This is last. Nella. Sorry. I must admit I'm on the drunk side of sober, as it were. In fact, do you want some? I'll swig. You have it out of the can.
Oh, no. I'm beginning to think I won't get home tonight.
Oh, to Barrow? Well, I'm damn sure you won't. Not even at Bolton yet.
Are you on leave?
Cheers. Chin chin. Down the hatch. Coughs and sneezes, spread diseases. No, I was actually spending my leave with, you don't know my wife, do you?
Only to say hello to.
You're not going to go blabbing to her, so it goes no further. Isn't she lovely? Yeah, I mean, you can't tell on there, but her hair's sort of chestnutty, you know, and her eyes are... what colour are yours? Yes, sort of bluey grey. Yeah. Anne. It suits her, actually. Yeah. She's a nurse. She's a brilliant nurse, actually. Cheers. Chin chin. Coughs and sneezes, etc. I think England's had it. I can't stick in Barrow for the next 20 years. 30 years. Yeah. Beetle's happy in a matchbox. box until you take him out. He doesn't want to go back in, does he? I can't go back into my matchbox. And those lads I treat on the ships, they're not going to want to go back, are they? I know I'm going to hurt my wife. But you only have one life. I'm not a Hindu. Well, it's the same for you with, what's his name? Mr. Last. I mean, that's not going to get any more joyful, is it?
You can't just ditch people.
Oh, you can. I think you have to, absolutely. Get out or go under.
Why are you up so early?
Well, I haven't been to bed. When you weren't on the last train, I didn't know what to do. Thought you weren't coming home.
No, I've been sat outside Bolton half the night. What's you doing?
Oh, I thought I'd have a go at washing that cardigan. I wasn't quite sure how to go about it.
Will.
How did you leave it with Cliff? He would have grown up whether or not. We don't do so bad, you and I.
It's exactly smooth running.
You're not so sweet as you were.
What, as when you married me? Good. You don't want to be sweet at 54. I look back, I think, who was that poor child? She didn't have a clue.
We managed.
I didn't manage. All those years when you didn't want me to go out without you and you wouldn't go out.
I just wanted to keep you safe inside.
I know. I know it wasn't nastiness.
I can't manage without you.
I know, but that's not love.
Well, it is in my book.
And me keeping you happy, trying to stop you getting cross, that's not love either. That's just being cowardly. Put jolly music on for Daddy, don't run the taps, let's all be bright and gay.
Well, what's wrong with that?
It made me ill. I couldn't remember where I lived some days.
Well, I don't understand. I thought we were well suited.
Well, I don't think we are. That rose bush done well.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing. There's people who got married, that's all.
You can put up with me, though, Nella, can't you?
Well, you've had to put up with me. Not looking for another matchbox.
What's that?
Some nonsense I heard on the train. Some silly drunk man. Arthur's brought his fiancée over from Ireland, Edith. Cliff's still very taciturn about being wounded. We know it was a hand grenade, and that's all we do know. And the war just seems to be fizzling out. What did they say? Is it today?
Still same as the 1 o'clock. Crowds everywhere, but no announcement.
How can people plan a celebration with this shilly-shally?
Oh, quite. I mean, do I open my tin of cream or don't I?
Shall I phone the BBC, Lynchy, get the full picture?
Could you? It's rather crucial.
Any news?
Same as before.
Nothing. Oh, some victory this is turning out to be. Have you any Union Jacks?
No, people have been asking all day, sorry.
Oh, I wonder if I could bodge one up on the Singer. Have you any white sheeting?
No.
Any white material?
No.
Yes!
Oh, that's plenty in those. That's ideal. Are those my mother's good bloomers?
They shall be waved in victory.
Any further news on Victory in Europe Day will be brought to you as soon as we receive it in the form.
I'll leave it on anyway. Might be something on the next news.
Edith, if you don't like ham, how about a bit of salad or cake?
I'm not really a salady person.
And you're not a cakey person.
No, I'm not really that cakey.
So are we at war, or are we at peace, or what?
Ma'am, what does it matter? Look around, you see any Germans?
Pardon me for taking space on this earth. Everybody start, I'll just get the teapot.
Righty-o.
What's the gen on your jolly old war wound, son?
Dad's a fighter pilot, can you tell?
Where did the beggars get you, son? What was it? Hand grenade?
I've told you all this, Norman. I'll have the salad.
Left thigh, right buttock, bladder, penis.
Could you reach me the beetroot, Edith, please?
Oh, sorry. Is that the side you want to sleep on?
Well, it's always my side.
Well, Edith's off tomorrow, so you get your room back.
She'll take her records with her, I trust. Boogie Woogle Bugly Boy. When will the WVS pack in?
Why would they be packing in? We're still at war in the Far East, and after that I should think there'd be things to do. Why would they pack in?
Will you not pack in, though?
I might.
Thanks. Let's go and get changed in the bathroom. Dad, you nearly ready? Don't get oily. We're just about to go out. Come on, your shirt's on your bed.
Oh, I'd better see to this. It's this valve, it's...
Come on, it's only Mrs. Waite's garden. It's not the Tower Ballroom. You won't have to jitterbug. Well, I'm going to go on my own then. I'm not going to miss it.
Why don't we go later when I've done this?
Oh, no, I'm not falling for that one. If you want to come later, you do that. I'm off now. Bye.
Really, Mrs. Lord, it would almost be quicker to brew one's own beer.
Well, I'm doing my level best. I think this is a faulty tool. Up. Good. And then over. Over. No, not down. Over.
I met you in the kitchen, didn't I, that first day?
Yes, Mrs. Waite sort of catapulted you through the door.
Cheer and get to it. There is, of course, only one bottle opener.
Did you kick up a stink, Lynchy?
Me? No. I drew it very mild, as per.
Mild. When I first met you at WVS, you were terrifying.
Tosh.
I hope the menu's the cloakroom. We don't want any out-of-bounds tinkling.
Chin chin.
Jam hatch.
Not spread
No! Please, would you come on?
Thank you. I think she wants her mother's bloomers back.
Good evening, Mrs. Waite. Would you like a sip of my beer?
I would not. It's a filthy beverage, in my opinion, leading to the ruination of the working classes. But don't let that spoil your enjoyment. You've heard about our little shop.
That we are closing.
You'll miss it more than all the others, I should think. Though if Clement Attlee gets his way, we'll all be down the mines by Christmas. What a slap in the face for Churchill.
Yes, I will miss it. I've loved it. Well, I've loved all of it.
And I've loved you. And you've been a true friend and a credit to the WVS.
Ooh, crikey.
And also very annoying and very cheeky.
Cary Grant and Clark Gable seem to have been unavoidably detained. Would anyone like a dance? Mrs. Wade.
No, 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 Mr. Hopkins, up, up, up!
Good evening. I was just about to ask your wife to dance.
I've saved the bother.
Life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't be so serious. Life's too mysterious.
You work, you save, you worry so, but you can't take your dough when you go, go, go. So keep repeating it's the berries, the strongest oak must fall.
Mrs. Last.
Sorry?
I'm Alan. Mrs. Waite's grandson. We met on the beach that time. I'm just out of the camp. I just wanted to... Sorry. I get a bit weepy. I'm not quite fit yet. Just wanted to see the shop. Say thank you for the parcels. Because when we got one, we knew we weren't forgotten.
I did a lot of thinking while I was packing up the shop. Arthur's got Edith, he doesn't need me. Cliff's got his discharge, he's in London. We parted on bad terms. I haven't heard from him and he doesn't want to hear from me, so... Really, my life as a mother, in the real sense, is over. And that's quite a cold feeling.
Cliff?
I went to the shop. It was closed. God, Mum, you don't get any taller, do you?
I don't get any braver, so if there's any nastiness coming, I'd just as soon not hear it.
I know, I was nasty. And I know I hurt you. And... Mum, you know I've never been any good at saying sorry.
Chelsea, that's one of the top places, isn't it, for art?
Top drawer, as Dad would say.
And then what? I'm only asking. I know you're not coming back to Barrow.
I'm sick of England. If I'm going to paint, I want to go abroad. I might go back to Italy if they've stopped chucking hand grenades at people. You could come out as well.
Would you want me to?
Of course, if you wanted to. We could have Chianti and ravioli.
I can't see your father going with ravioli. It'd take me 20 years to get him to eat bread sauce.
Oh. I'm starving, actually. What do prodigal sons get these days? Fatted spam?
What's that?
That's you. That's my heart. You're in my heart. Always.
Till the tide comes in.
Does it hurt, Dennis, banging it on your leg like that?
Hardly. Tin on tin.
Not built for stairs. The removal van's here. The Japs have surrendered.
Who says?
The removal man, BBC. They've asked for an armistice.
Blowing them to atoms obviously worked then.
Oh, so that's that. How bizarre.
Well, it's looking very grand in the new premises. Mass observation towers. I've heard talk of central heating and 2 lavatories.
Who wants to pack Nella last? Begs not I. Are you making coffee, Dennis? It's your turn.
Can't be. I made it in 1939.
Sounds like people are already celebrating.
I won't be. The bunting's back in the loft. Not going up the ladder just for Japan.
The canteen's closing, so that's another 2 days I'll have empty. I've wanted peace, I've longed for peace, but now it's here, I've a feeling of, well, panic almost.
Victory bonfire?
Henhouse.
Must have come through on the last news at 11:45. Come and see this huge rockets going up from the ships in the dock. Come and see.
It woke me up.
So that's peace then.
Well, it's not my idea of peace, this damn racket. Hope it's not going to go on all night.
Should we go out? Have a see? Have a drive round?
Oh, I can see drunken fools any time. No, I'm back to my bed. Will you go?
I might just have a look.
Watch out for folk chucking firecrackers. Right.
Night.
I'll have bacon, I think, tomorrow.